Sean Strickland just did what no corner should ever do. He charged into the cage and threw punches after a teammate's fight ended. Was it about loyalty or just pure rage? Let's break it down. The incident happened at Tuff-N-Uff 145, a regional MMA event in Las Vegas. It's not the UFC, but it's where a lot of UFC hopefuls sharpen their skills. Strickland was cornering his longtime training partner, Miles Hunsinger, who was facing a rising prospect named Luis Hernandez. For both fighters, this bout was important for their careers. A proving ground moment. Strickland, who recently lost his UFC middleweight title to Dricus du Plessis at UFC 297, was now outside the octagon, playing the role of a coach. Beside him was fellow UFC fighter and teammate Chris Curtis. In the second round, Luis Hernandez locked in a tight standing guillotine. Hunsinger fought it off as long as he could, but eventually had to tap. The fight was over. But then things got ugly. Instead of celebrating normally, Hernandez turned to Strickland and Curtis and flipped them off. Double middle fingers, full of energy and attitude. Not just a quick moment of celebration. These were direct taunts aimed at the opposing corner. Hernandez also shouted something toward them, though the exact words are hard to make out on video. Strickland immediately lost it. Without hesitation, he stormed into the cage. He pushed through security, walked straight up to Hernandez, and threw a punch. Hernandez looked stunned. A second later, Chris Curtis joined in and grabbed Hernandez around the neck from behind. For a few chaotic moments, it looked like we were heading for an all-out brawl, right there in the cage, after the fight was already over. Officials jumped in. Chaos erupted, but no serious injuries were reported, and eventually things calmed down. Still, the damage was done, and the footage spread fast across MMA social media. So what was Strickland thinking? He didn't stay silent for long. On social media, Strickland said, "As a man, I'm not capable not to answer that. If I walk down the street and someone said that to me, my soul will not allow that to go unanswered." He made it clear this wasn't about winning or losing. It was about respect. He also admitted he probably shouldn't have cornered the fight, saying, "I shouldn't have been there. I was too emotionally invested." Chris Curtis also gave a short statement acknowledging that things got out of hand, but made it clear he felt Hernandez's disrespect crossed the line. Now, the consequences may be bigger than just a few headlines. The Nevada State Athletic Commission, the NSAC, is currently reviewing the footage. And if they decide that Strickland's actions violated the rules, he could be facing serious penalties. That could include fines or a suspension, not just as a cornerman, but also as a licensed fighter. In other words, this could affect his ability to fight in Nevada, where most of the UFC's biggest events take place. So far, the UFC hasn't released an official statement. But insiders suggest that they weren't happy to see one of their high-profile fighters caught on camera swinging in an unsanctioned moment, especially one already under public scrutiny after his last loss. This incident brings up a deeper question about MMA culture. Where's the line between loyalty and professionalism? Fighters are taught to ride or die with their teammates. But what happens when that loyalty boils over into violence outside the rules? Fans are split. Some believe Strickland was standing up for his team, defending his honor and his guy. Others say he lost control, and that no matter how disrespectful Hernandez was, charging the cage and throwing punches is crossing a major line. One thing's for sure, Strickland didn't hesitate. He acted on instinct. And now, the fight outside the cage might end up being the one with the biggest consequences. What do you think? Was Strickland justified in defending his teammate? Or did he completely lose control? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more breakdowns like this. This is one story that's far from over.